Welcome to our Business Improvement Series. I'm Alan Sandilands, owner of Taipan. I'm joined here today by Robert Pitt from Mazars, and I'm just going to hand over to Robert Pitt to explain what we're doing in the series, and over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Alan. So what we're looking at doing is creating a series of videos that draws upon Alan's experience creating the success of Taipan over the last 12 or 13 years, and just really looking at what are the key aspects that have made that business successful over that period of time. So Alan, firstly, let's just kick off with why are you actually looking to do these series of videos?
Well, Rob, I'm drawing on my experience as an owner of a business, and you know, it was really hard. In fact, in the early days, we almost went broke. So I'm thinking that all of our customers could use some guidance or mentoring in running their business, and you know what, the more information that you get, the better. So
Al, the last 12, 13 years, as you mentioned, you know, the business almost went broke all that time ago. How has your mindset changed over the last 12 or 13 years? If you think back to then as to how you saw yourself as a leader in the business and how you see yourself as a leader in the business now.
Yeah, look, it's chalk and cheese. Honestly, I was so immature back then. It was all about me, it was all about money, and it was all about getting there as fast as I could. Today, my mindset's totally changed.
Some of the things that we sort of focused on back in those early days were very tactically focused on turning things around, but some of the things that we also looked at was what are the long-term aspirations of the business? How important was it to focus on both those short-term actions that we needed to do, but also the long-term goal of where we wanted the business to be?
Yeah, look, in the early days, when I was introduced to our new accountants at the time, I really had no idea of business at all. And I think that the introduction when I very first met you was the introduction to things like a vision and a mission, and more importantly, values. I didn't understand that stuff, and I didn't know how it related to business. And so the introduction even of those three key things, which are key today. In fact, today we focus more on values than anything else in our business. I didn't understand the importance of things like culture. So for us to get anywhere in the short term, we had to go right back to the start and discover who we were and what that meant. So we had to find a way to introduce those major fundamentals into the business.
Obviously, it's been a long journey. There was a lot of work done in those early days, and I would imagine it kind of felt like that duck on the pond, paddling hard underneath, but not a lot of activity above the water. How long did it really take, and how many potentially false starts did you have trying to make the business what it is today?
Yeah, I think if I was on my own, we still wouldn't be where we are today. So having a group of people that surround you with experience, so experts in their field, people who are way smarter than I am, understanding that the right thing to do is employ people who are way smarter than yourself. Those lessons were really tough. So the amount of false starts we had, heaps. Yeah, we took years to settle in, and so I had a lot of not wrong people working for me, but people who didn't fit within our culture, so didn't fit within the way that I thought. So getting back to the roots and working on the roots. So every day was just one step at a time.
Looking back at your journey, what do you think personally were some of the milestone moments that really sort of ticked in your brain as to, oh wow, that's the way I should be doing things?
Probably the biggest thing for me was what I call the day that turned my life around. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a millionaire by the time I was 20, and 20 just zoomed on past. And then I thought, oh well, 30. And Yeah, 30 just came and went, and then I thought, well, surely 40. But it wasn't until much later that I understood the reason why I was never getting anywhere. And I was always looking for the answers to do well. And it was never the answers that you needed. So I was always looking to invent something. And, you know, I wanted to be that person with who put the curly bits in the hair clip instead of having it straight, and I'd make millions. But it wasn't until a really negative day, we were broke, and I asked somebody if I could borrow some money off them. It was 20 bucks. And they asked me what for, and it was 20 bucks. Who asks what you want 20 bucks for? And that really cut deep. And I promised myself on that day that I would never be asked that question again. And so from that, I jumped in my car, never accepted the 20 bucks, went back to work and sat at my desk and wondered what it was that we needed to achieve success, turn this business around. And so I discovered from that day, it's not the answers that you're looking for, it's the reasons. And you only need one reason to do well. You just got to find that reason, and it's got to be a good enough reason. And that's how it all came about originally.
Alan, across the series of videos, we're going to cover quite a few ingredients which leads to success of business. But what do you think, in your view, are sort of the key three that you would think are critical?
Yeah, sure. That's a really tough question because they're all critical, and at some point you've got to cover off on all of those. But if I had to name three, I'd say discovering who your top customers are. For us, that's our own people. They're by far our most important customer. They provide the most value in our company, so you've got to treat them right. Surrounding yourself with expertise, such as people like you, Rob, and organisational skills, getting everything right.
Thank you for watching this high-level video in our business improvement series. If you need any more information on what we've discussed here today, please head to our website.